Good morning. There's a devil on this island. You'll see him all over the place, grinning from a restaurant sign, guarding the entrance to the national park, even smiling up at you from bottle openers. He's got horns, a tail, he's got a trident, and he looks strangely cheerful for someone who's meant to represent eternal damnation. They say that during the eruptions of the 1730s, with fire raining from the mountains and molten rocks swallowing villages, a young couple was getting married near the village of Timanfaya. And the ceremony had just begun when the ground split open and lava poured through the church and everyone was killed, everyone except the groom. He survived, but barely. Heartbroken and burned, he staggered out of the rubble, carrying nothing but the iron trident that his father had used in a desperate, failed attempt to dig out the bride. In his grief, so the story goes, he climbed to the top of a hill, silhouetted against the smoke, and let out a cry so haunting, even the volcano paused to listen. Some say he died there, some say he went mad and disappeared into the lava fields. Some say the devil took his shape, bent, broken, and carrying a blackened trident. And that's how the Diablo de Timanfaya came to be. Not as an evil spirit, but as a guardian, a figure born of fire and loss, a warning, a witness. Whenever steam hisses from the rocks or the ground feels warm beneath your feet, he's said to be watching. So the devil here is a relic of some ancient Canary Island myth, left behind by lava gods or whispered in the wind during centuries of eruptions. Most people assume that. They don't question it. Why would they? The landscape here feels like legend. Ash-grey mountains, rivers of rock, steam rising from the earth like a warning. But not everything is as it first seems. While the island of Lanzarote may always have been smouldering with devilish fire, the devil himself is a relative newcomer. And I want to tell you the story of how he really arrived. But first, we have to take a look at the land itself, because it wasn't always hospitable to a fiery Diablo. Because Lanzarote wasn't always like it is today. Before the lava came, it was a quiet, fertile island, low stone villages, gently terraced farmland, fish boats bobbing out on the Atlantic. But life as the locals knew it was about to be torn apart. On the night of September the 1st, 1730, the earth quite literally cracked open. In the words of the parish priest of Yaiza, who kept a running diary of events, on the first day of September, between 9 and 10 at night, the earth suddenly opened near Timanfaya. A gigantic mountain rose up from the bowels of the earth. They must have thought they were witnessing some kind of divine intervention. Their island was convulsing and transforming before their very eyes. And this went on for 6 years. 6 years the island erupted. Not just once, repeatedly, for over 2,000 days. Villages were buried. Entire valleys disappeared beneath rivers of molten rock. Smoke and ash blotted out the sun. Flight paths were changed to avoid the area. Okay, I made that part up. Bird flight paths. We are still in the 1730s, remember. And when it all finally stopped in 1736, a quarter of the island had been reshaped, swallowed, scorched, and reborn in black. Even today, nothing grows in the heart of Timanfaya. The soil remains charred, the heat beneath the surface is still so intense that you can roast a chicken by dropping it into a hole in the ground, which they actually do at the park restaurant. I know it doesn't taste of sulfur, or at least not much. It's hard to imagine living through those 6 years of turmoil. But the people of Lanzarote didn't leave their smouldering island behind. They stayed, they adapted, they dug circular craters into the ash to grow grapes. Because let's be honest, after 6 years of being torched by the devil, you'd need a drink too. They built themselves new homes, this time out of lava stone. And they watched the land cool and crack, and somehow out of all of that fire, they found a way forward. Did they blame the devil? No. The devil still hadn't arrived yet. Fast forward a couple of centuries, and the devil is still busy somewhere else. By this time, the volcanoes have fallen quiet, the lava's cooled into black rock, and Lanzarote, for all its drama, is still a small island in the Atlantic, remote, rugged, and largely ignored. But then, along comes Cesar Manrique, possibly the most famous, probably the most influential person to come from this island. He was born in Arrecife in 1919, and Cesar Manrique was many things. He was a painter, an architect, a sculptor, an environmentalist. At times, he was a part-time revolutionary too. He fought in the Spanish Civil War. He studied art in Madrid. He even spent a few years soaking up abstract expressionism in New York, friends with Andy Warhol, no less. But in the 1960s, he gave all of that up, and he came back home. But what he found disturbed him. Tourism. Lanzarote wasn't quite as anonymous as it had been when he left, and tourism was arriving a little fast. Hotels were springing up without thought, without taste, without care, concrete blocks on paradise soil. So Manrique made it his mission to shape the future of Lanzarote before it was too late. He campaigned relentlessly for architecture that blended with the land. He convinced politicians to ban billboards, to restrict high-rise buildings, to paint every house white with green or blue shutters. His purpose? Well, he put it, I want to turn Lanzarote into the most beautiful place on earth. Doesn't really sound like the sort of place that the devil would choose to move to. But anyway, he didn't just talk, he created. He built incredible spaces carved into lava tubes, perched on cliffs, hidden in caves. At Ginés del Agua, he turned a volcanic tunnel into a concert hall and into a swimming pool. At Mirador del Rio, he sculpted a lookout point that blends seamlessly into the cliffside, invisible from a distance. Everywhere he worked, he asked the same question. Can we let nature lead the design? Not fight it, not flatten it, let's work with it. And people really listened up to what he was saying. He wasn't just redesigning spaces, he was reshaping identity. He was telling a new story of Lanzarote, one where art and ecology weren't separate, one where even a volcano could be a canvas. And that's when the devil finally showed up. Because here's the twist. That devil that you see all over Lanzarote, the one on the park signs, on the fridge magnets, on the welcome board at Timanfaya, he's not ancient at all. He's not folklore. He's not even particularly serious. He was drawn in the 1970s by Cesar Manrique. That cheerful, trident-wielding mascot of fire and fury, he's not a villain of an old folk tale. He's not the tragic contortion of a heartbroken groom. He's a logo. Manrique designed him, the horns, the tail, the wiry limbs, the goofy grin, as a symbol for the newly opened Timanfaya National Park when it officially opened in 1974. The park needed a visual identity, and Manrique, ever an artist, gave it one. Of course, it didn't hurt that it looked like it might be ancient. Ironwork devils were common as wind vanes across the Canary Islands, and Manrique just loved that rustic style, so he modernized it, he simplified it, and he branded it. And in doing so, he created something that felt like it had always belonged here. And over time, it did. Locals embraced it, tourists believed it, shops used it, guides pointed to it. And the island, without really planning to, adopted the devil as its unofficial ambassador. People started telling the story backwards, assuming that the devil had come first. Manrique had just captured him. But it was the other way around. The story didn't make the symbol. The symbol made the story. Let's get back into the portal. We're going to collect our next port of call, Arrecife, in Lanzarote. So Arrecife is the capital of Lanzarote. It's the main port town on the island. And it started out as a small fishing village, grew over time because of its natural harbour and nearby reefs, which offered shelter from pirate attacks. Today it's a working town. It's got a mix of local life and tourism. It's got a more down-to-earth feel compared to the island's main beach resorts. And it became the capital in the mid-1800s. So it's been a while, but it's not as showy as other spots on the island. It gives a better sense of how real people live and work in Lanzarote today. Here's a picture taken from a bridge view, because it gives you a good sense of what the pier looks like. We get off on the gangway as usual now onto a big stretch of concrete, and then buses are parked on the other side of that fence. You can get taxis as well, and the taxis here in Lanzarote generally accept card payment as well. So that's good news if you like to pay on card. Let's have a look on a map. Okay. So we are about an 11-minute drive from the Marina Lanzarote, and my recommendation is to take Melanie's famous shuttle bus service. By the way, she was so delighted with that t-shirt. She cried. Yeah, it did take me bang on her foot, but we got the tears out. No, she was really touched, so thank you to everybody who took part in that. Drive around here, I would recommend taking that one. It takes you into what should have been the port. This is fantastic, this area, the marina. But it's a marina for smaller boats, so we can't fit in there. But that is the place that dreams of being the cruise ship port. That's got all of the facilities. If you're looking to get further into the island, then of course just grab a taxi immediately from the port and head on out. If you're on a shore excursion, then you'll leave from our pier directly. Once you're at the Marina Lanzarote, you're roughly a 30-minute walk to anywhere in the city that you would be interested to visit. So let's start with Marina Lanzarote. This is a modern waterfront development located just a short walk from Arrecife's town centre. It's the most popular stop for cruise ship visitors because it's got shops there, it's got cafes there, restaurants, clean public facilities. It's where the shuttle bus drops you off, of course, as well. It's got a relaxed atmosphere, excellent sea views. It's a really good place to start the visit. So it is a perfect stop for the shuttle bus. It's easy, it's convenient. It's also got free Wi-Fi there. So everything that you would want from a port terminal is here. So this is a really handy place to take a moment when you do get off the shuttle bus. Centro Comercial Arrecife is a fairly compact indoor shopping centre. It's near the waterfront, handy mix of fashion stores, supermarkets, pharmacy, a few cafes. Popular with the locals just for running everyday errands. It's not the biggest, flashiest shopping mall you'll see. It's air-conditioned, so it's a comfortable space to have a wander around. Just up the road, there's another option. This one's an open-air shopping area. There are more stores there, cafes, space to stroll, McDonald's. Both of these are within walking distance of the marina, so a nice stroll up to go shopping. Castillo de San Gabriel. It's a small stone fortress set on a rocky islet just off Arrecife's seafront. It was originally built in the 16th century to defend the town from pirate attacks, and it was later rebuilt in stone after the original wooden version was destroyed. Today, it's connected to the mainland by a pedestrian causeway, so you can just walk out to it. It offers lovely views of the town, of course, to the sea as well. And inside, you find a small museum. They've got archaeological exhibits there, a bit about local history. It's really easy to reach on foot from the marina. You just walk across the old drawbridge, feels like stepping into another time, and you're not going too far away from town. Or you could make it a beach day. Playa del Reducto is Arrecife's main beach. It's located right next to the city centre, pretty easily to get to by foot. It's just this wide stretch of golden sand, calm, shallow waters, because it's protected by the natural reef that protects the bay. And it's a pretty well-maintained beach. It's got sunbeds, toilets, lifeguards. There's a long promenade there that's lined with some cafes and ice cream shops. And it's popular with locals, with visitors. If you want a gentle swim in the sea or just a seaside walk, but you don't want to leave town, because they've got massive, wonderful beach resorts on Lanzarote Island, but this is your most convenient and pleasant spot to do it. This is an area that I really like about Arrecife. Charco de San Ginés is one of Arrecife's most charming spots. It's a natural saltwater lagoon. It's surrounded by these whitewashed houses. Now we know why they're all whitewashed. Fishing boats, palm trees, and it's right in the heart of town. It's got this really laid-back local feel. You'll see fishermen mending their nets or their boats just gently bobbing around in the tide. And there's a walkway that circles the lagoon. You've got bars, restaurants just dotted around the edge. It's a perfect place for a drink or a relaxed lunch. Great area for a quiet wander. It's just 10 minutes from the marina. You've got a more traditional everyday side of Arrecife. 10 minutes for me anyway. I do give you a little bit of extra time. Right by there, you've got the Parroquia de San Ginés. It's Arrecife's main church. It's tucked in beside the Charco de San Ginés lagoon. It was originally built in the early 1600s, but it's been rebuilt several times since due to flooding, due to pirate attacks. The current building, whitewashed walls, distinctive bell tower, reflects the simple but elegant Canarian style. Inside, it's peaceful, it's beautifully maintained, dark wooden ceilings, religious artwork. It's, of course, dedicated to Saint Ginés, which is the town's patron saint, and it still plays a very active role in local life. It's another place which is easy to get to on foot from the shuttle bus drop-off point. La Casa Amarilla, okay, the yellow house. This is a historic building in the center there, just by the church, once used as the island's government headquarters. Easily recognized by its bright yellow tile facade, stands out from the surrounding streets. It's breaking the rules. Today it functions as a small cultural exhibition space, so you've got temporary displays about Lanzarote's history, the people, the traditions. Entry is usually free. The exhibitions are well presented in both languages, Spanish and English. It's not a large museum, but it's worth a short visit if you're nearby, you want to get a glimpse of the island's past, and it's a really nice walk from the marina. Lanzarote's most famous natural attraction, Timanfaya National Park, known for its otherworldly volcanic landscape. Formed during 6 years of eruptions in the 18th century, this park is a dramatic mix of lava fields, craters, solidified ash. It's a protected area, so you can only visit it with a guided coach tour, either from the ship or from the visitor center, or a licensed excursion. So they're your options, with the cruise ship, or you go to the visitor center and you jump on one of their official tours. Staff demonstrate the intense underground heat by tossing straw into steaming vents and then even cooking food over a volcanic grill. I love it when they pour the water in and you wait about 5 seconds and then bam, you get your own eruption. It's about a 30-minute drive from Arrecife. It's a must-see for anyone interested in geology or natural history. But if you, like me, occasionally feel seasick, you will also feel seasick on that bus. So maybe take your travel sickness medication with you, or take it before you get in the bus. It's a really lurchy ride. Jardin de Cactus It's one of Lanzarote's most unusual and striking attractions. It was created by that artist, Cesar Manrique. This is set in a former quarry in the north of the island. It features over 4,500 cacti from all over the world, arranged in terraces that follow the natural contours of the land. Setting is just beautiful. It combines dramatic volcanic stone with these bold, playful designs that's really typical of the artist. There's even this restored windmill overlooking the garden because they knew a Dutch ship was coming. It's not just for plant lovers. It's a really great example of how art and nature can really blend together. The garden's about a 20-25 minute drive out by car. It's really easy to visit on a tour, but you could take a local taxi as well. And the final one. Oh, and there's Wi-Fi there. These cacti emit Wi-Fi. Oh, I love this. Cueva de los Verges. This is a fascinating lava tube. It was formed around 4,000 years ago by flowing magma from La Corona volcano. It's located right at the north of Lanzarote, and that cave stretches for several kilometers. It's only open in a little section to the public. You go via a guided tour. You must go on the guided tour. Inside, you go through this walking, winding tunnels, dramatic caverns, all naturally sculpted by volcanic activity. They've lit it really beautifully. It's subtle, it's atmospheric, and there's a well-kept surprise at the end of the tour. But I'm not going to spoil that now. It's about a 30-minute drive. It's a really great option if you're interested in geology, history, or just something a little bit different. All right, let's put all of them up on a map. So, here's the thing. That devil that we all assume is ancient, the one that we believed was born in ash and grief, forged in volcanic rage, was actually born in a sketchbook. It wasn't carved by centuries of myth, but it was drawn in ink, not handed down, but handed in as part of a park branding proposal. And yet, we believed it. Because it felt right, because it looked like it belonged, because it told the story we were already half ready to hear. And that's the funny thing with traditions. Some of them really are ancient, but others are surprisingly modern inventions with good graphic design and just enough mystery around the edges. And over time, the line blurs. We stop checking, we stop asking. And eventually, it really doesn't matter where the story came from because it's already become part of the landscape. And once a story settles into the soil, it grows, sometimes in surprising directions. Sometimes you've just got to smirk a little. There was a local aloe vera company on the island who liked that recently crafted legend about two lovers tragically separated on their wedding day by a volcanic eruption. They liked the story. But they felt something was missing, like names. So they named the groom Aloe and the bride Vera. And thus, they say, is the true account of the naming of this magical healing plant that sprouts from the ash, aloe vera. It's a beautiful slant, touching, poetic even, but a total fabrication. Aloe has never been a name in the Canary Islands, and Vera isn't a popular Spanish name either. In reality, the term aloe vera comes from Latin, meaning true aloe, and it was coined by a Dutch botanist in the 18th century. But it really doesn't matter. This modern-day myth has found its place. It's embraced by visitors and locals alike, and it adds another layer into Lanzarote's rich tapestry of tales. Because in the end, that's what we're all doing, isn't it? Telling stories, trying to make sense of the world we've inherited and the one we're trying to build. Some stories are passed down, and some are picked up along the way. Some, like the Devil of Timanfaya, are drawn from scratch and just stitched into the scenery until they feel like they've always belonged. And maybe that's not a trick. Maybe that's not deceit. Maybe it's just what we do. We create meaning from the raw material of life, just like Lanzarote created beauty from blackened stone. The past isn't just what happened. It's what we choose to remember. It's what we choose to retell, and sometimes it's what we choose to invent. And if the devil can show up in the 1970s and still feel like folklore, then there's hope for all of us. To shape our own stories, to claim our own symbols, and to decide what kind of legend we want to leave behind. Thank you.